success of the James Bond films has made household names out of actors playing Agent 007.
Bond.
Name's Bond.
James Bond.
Except for one, the forgotten James Bond.
George Lazenby went from being a car salesman in Queanbeyan in the 1960s to playing 007.
Is it true that, as I think you put it yourself once, you told a pack of lies to get the role?
And now it's our great joy to welcome the new James Bond. Now, this is a fascinating situation, isn't it? Because you've what? You've refused to do a second Bond.
So you're going to tell me your story. I'm wondering, what can I expect from it? Drama?
Do I have drama about what?
In your life story that I'm going to ask you, is there drama?
What do you mean, is there a drama?
Is
There's
there
drama all my life.
Is there romance?
Huh?
Is there romance? Is there comedy?
Yes.
Sex?
A little.
Drugs?
Drugs, yeah, a little.
Violence?
A little.
Are there twists and turns?
Yes.
Is it a good story?
Oh, well, it depends if you like those kind of stories. You know? Well, it all started my life, from what I remember, being in hospital.
Scalpel. Hold that.
When I was 3 years old,
Oh, shit, he's awake. Shh, go back to sleep.
they found that I was peeing backwards into my kidneys. They opened me up 67 times, and I was left with half a kidney. My doctors told my mother that I'd probably pass away around 12.
Maybe 13.
I suppose subconsciously, there was a part of me that said, I better get on with life. Because who knows? It could be over any time. The first time I ever stole a car, I was 6 years old. I think I said to myself, I better make the best of the time that I do have. My dad never had a car because we were a poor family. But my uncle used to drive a 36 Ford. I mean, I loved that thing. He'd always left his keys in it.
Crikey.
And I had to get underneath the dashboard. And then I'd stand up and let the clutch out. And it would kangaroo hop. That's how it was. I was a larrikin. I was a wild larrikin, doing whatever I liked. And I've been that way forever.
Hurry up, kids. Take your seats. Settle down. Pencils out. So, as I was saying, science is all around.
Yeah, no one expected much of anything from me.
George, pay attention.
I didn't see the point in school.
So this island here is where we live.
School was so boring. You know, it was like, God, I gotta learn this geography thing.
China and Russia and Hungary and the Ukraine.
I had no use knowing where England was or where America was. I was in Australia, and I wasn't going there.
And the largest clouds are called the cumulonimbus clouds. Isn't that
Science?
fascinating?
Who gives a shit about science?
Yes. What is it, George?
Is this going to be relevant to my life?
You know, that was my attitude.
George Lazenby, outside right now.
the vice headmaster, Chuck Warner. He hated me.
Now, put out your hands, palms down.
He would cane me for no reason, practically.
Quickly now.
Who did this? Who brought the snake to school? I bet you Lazenby did it. Come outside. Because I did. I brought a snake to school one day. I had to find ways to get me through the day, you know, by possibly causing a little bit of trouble.
The sun, and it's all part of the life.
One girl noticed it.
So again.
No, wasn't gonna hurt anyone. Another day I bought a bag full of bats.
Time for school, Bets.
I went down the sewers and got a whole bag full of bats. I put them in my school bag, and then I opened the bag and they flew in the daylight. It was so much fun. People screaming and yelling and running everywhere.
Children, try to remain calm.
It was worth getting the cane that day. Yeah, to be honest with you, things I was interested in with pranks and having fun. But when I turned 15, things changed. I can remember one morning riding down the hill on my bike. There was a girl sunbaking on the lawn around the corner from my place. June Green. She was 23 and I was 15. She had a fascinating body. So I stopped the bike and pretended something was wrong with it.
Okay, what is the problem here? Tire pressure seems fine.
I was fiddling with it,
Might need a gas cap.
you know, and looking at her.
Gas cap.
I had no idea how to approach a girl at that time.
Might be this thing here.
And she finally said, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "Oh, my bike's broken down."
My bike's broken down. Can I command you? You got any tools?
Yeah, okay.
Next thing I know, I'm on top of her.
This is fun. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Is that right?
And we were dry rooting on the kitchen floor.
Wait, what's dry rooting?
That's doing it with your clothes on.
My arms are starting to get tired a little bit.
I had no idea what I was doing.
You okay?
My pants are bunching up a little bit.
But eventually, she invited me down at night.
Oh, right.
And I can remember when we made love for the first time. And it was fantastic. And all of a sudden, something took over my body. I was like in space, and it was magnificent, the best feeling I've ever had in my life. I went, holy shit.
What?
I thought I'd blown my penis apart. I got out of the car and struck a match and checked it out to see everything was still there.
Are you okay?
Yeah, we're good. My penis is fine.
And I couldn't wait to get back in the car and have another one. I ended up going down to her place every night.
Why isn't everyone doing this all the time?
Shut up!
Okay.
Until the school teacher wrote a letter to my family that I couldn't keep my eyes open during class. Well, there's a hall in Queanbeyan called the Masonic Hall, and that's where all the kids go to graduate high school. And you get an intermediate certificate. My mother came with me, and I thought it's a given. Everybody was getting one. Very rarely someone doesn't get an intermediate certificate. Finally, after about an hour,
And George Lazenby did not graduate. To the 1954 class of Govan, congratulations and farewell.
I was the only one in the whole hall that didn't get a certificate. I'm thinking, Jesus, couldn't even get an intermediate certificate. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to be a public servant or a lawyer or a doctor or anywhere I thought you might need an education. It's embarrassing. I didn't give a damn about the certificate, but it was the embarrassment of not getting one that was hurting. If you didn't graduate high school, you had to redo the same class over again for a year. And I wasn't about to do that. So my uncle helped me out and got me a job as a mechanic. There was no money in it. Got paid very poorly.
Look at this thing. You're going to look amazing going down the street in it. Imagine it. Here, come on, sit down, sit down. Look, you can. Look out in the stars.
And one day, I saw the car salesmen were having much more fun than us mechanics.
I'll mount myself on this hood, then I'll mount you on the hood.
I'd look out from underneath the car and I'd see the guys chatting up the girls. And
Of course I come with the car. I can come. I can sit in the back seat the entire time. We can both sit in the back seat if you like.
going to work in a suit, going to nice places for lunch, you know, having a car to drive. And I'm thinking,
What am I doing under here?
so I said to the boss, I want to be a car salesman. But then I couldn't sell anything.
No, I saw this old girl in the shop and worked on her more than most, actually, but fair bit of room in the back. I can see you like that. And you guys up to date with your tetanus shots? I would. I'd get ahead of the game there. Look, on the bright side, it comes in a bunch of different colours.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to rush into a decision like this, but I'll be here if you change your mind.
I was hopeless. I couldn't sell a bloody car.
Comes in a few different colours.
One guy there who'd come out of university, Johnny Horton.
It's all yours. Here's the keys. Congratulations, beautiful.
He was selling 30 a month and he knew nothing about cars.
Don't forget to tell your friends, Johnny Horton.
That used to piss me off.
Shit.
Finally, the boss had an idea. He sent me down to Melbourne to how to win friends and influence people, of course. And the only thing I can remember learning was listen, don't talk. Listen to them, see what they're interested in, and then only talk about that. Don't bother with the car.
Listen, don't talk.
I started listening to the customers.
So anyway, I say to my friend, it's got to be the leg, but then Rhonda says to me, what about the paintings? And then suddenly I realize I'm suddenly out of gas, and my pet turtle Shelley needs to use the toilet. Anyways, I'll take that one. So, Shelley, she's in a mood. One time she almost took off my pinky finger. But you know what? Pulled it back, gave her a carrot. All was well.
God, what a twist.
My sales went up to 30 a month.
Excellent choice, sir. All right, you're gonna love it.
And so the boss now knew that I knew about cars and I also could sell them. Next thing, he promotes me to used car salesman. The embassy people had to get rid of their cars and they'd come to me. I was the embassy guy.
Au revoir. Das Vidania. Ta-da, Raju. My love to the wives.
There's no way that I would have known it at the time, but getting out from underneath that car, it was putting me one step closer to becoming James Bond.
Tell your friends to stop by. Say hi. George Lazenby, used car manager.
I was feeling good, selling cars, going to embassy parties.
We go this, eh? Hey, sport.
I started to get more sophisticated and understanding how the classy guys operate.
Champagne, sir? You don't mind a drop, do you?
And this one night, I was invited to a party, and so I got dressed up in a suit. Oh. There was this one girl there, and she stunned me. Her name was Belinda. But she was with a boyfriend. And I followed her around all night trying to say something to her alone. But this guy, he was stuck to her like that.
Caviar, sir? It's Royal Beluga, north of the Caspian.
I'm good. Thanks, mate.
I was trying to get a spot where I could talk to her, but he never left her side. Even when she went to the bathroom, he'd wait outside. And when she was leaving, I don't know what made me do it, but it just came out of me.
Excuse me?
I said, I'm going to take you out next week. I don't know how long I got. Let's get on with it.
I'm going to take you out next week.
And they both looked at me like, he's a loony, he's a mad. They didn't say a word, they just left. So then I found out where she worked. I called her up and I said, I'd like to go out with you. She said, I don't go out with strangers. I can't. I said, well, how about Sunday?
I can take you out during the day.
And she was working as a dental nurse.
What do you say?
What's that? I'll be right there. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks.
And she just said that to get me off the line. She rang, I suppose, 20 times to cancel. And I told all the guys, if she rings, I'm not here. Because I knew she'd do that. So I show up at a place on Sunday. As soon as I got there,
What do you think you're doing, mate?
and her brother jumps on me, he's got a headlock on me.
Fuck my sister, huh? Sister? Yeah, you don't know what it feels like, huh? Fuck you, mate. Fuck the hell is wrong with you? Fuck you.
I'm trying to get this headlock off me.
Oh, come on, man. Bloody deal with it.
The mother came out and said,
Greg, get off him.
Sorry, Mum.
Just wait here a moment, love. I'll get Belinda for you.
Good up.
I get invited in the house by the mother. And the dad and this other guy was sitting in the living room.
G'day. You must be Belinda's dad. Look just like her. I'm George.
And I said to the other guy, Jesus, mate, you look like Bob Menzies, the Prime Minister. And it was the Prime Minister of Australia.
It's unbelievable. Ah. Anyone ever told you that? I got you these.
Oh.
Sorry, they're a little roughed up, your brother.
These are lovely.
I told you I was going to ask you out.
You did.
And here I am.
Here you are. Okay. Bye, Dad. Bye, Bob. Let's go.
His name's Bob, too.
Of course it is.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Oh, we're just going up the river for a swim.
And she said, up the river? Yeah, it's a great river up here. We can go for a swim. I wanted to get her alone somewhere.
So is this where you take all the girls?
Hey, what kind of guy do you think I am? This place is special to me. I used to come here when I was a kid. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice and private, you know. We can do pretty much anything.
Can you unzip me?
Yeah, of course.
So, shall we?
Well, you don't actually have to go for a swim. Now, Belinda, hang on.
I thought she'd be too afraid to go in the water. She just took off in the water.
Are you coming?
When I said swimming, I didn't think we'd actually...
Come on.
I'm a little rusty. Oh, God.
Go on, and go! Come on, let's go up the river. Come on.
And I took off after her, and the fact is, I was about to quit chasing her when she stopped. And she told me if I couldn't have kept up with her, she'd never seen me again.
It's nice, huh?
It's really nice.
So everything was working out. We started seeing each other. I had a date with her at night 3 times, and the third one.
I like your perfume. It's really
Smells
nice.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I like that.
I'm being nice to her in the car, and she says, are we going to do it or not? Oh, God, my heart started going. I was just doing the right thing. I didn't want to blow it.
So now?
Yeah.
thought, this is her. I'm doing it with her. And my erection just went down. And I go, oh my God, what's happening? This never happened before.
You okay?
Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna get some fresh air.
Okay.
Go out the next night, same thing. Go out the next night, same thing. And I'd want to spank her, saying, what's the matter with you? Because I've never done it before, you know.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody. I'll be there in a minute.
I was too in love with her, too fascinated with her. When you're in love, you're intimidated by the love. I don't know what it is. I didn't know what to do. And she says,
So my boyfriend, or my ex-boyfriend, is coming into town.
and she was going to go to this Marine ball.
He's invited me to this Marine ball.
And I said,
You go with him and I'll never see you again.
and she said,
I have to go.
Can I tell you a secret? I didn't get an erection.
so I went to the pub and got totally drunk.
Lock me up, then. Lock me up, throw away the key. Because my dick couldn't get hard. Oh, okay, that's a crime, is it? That's a crime. Fuck off.
And I kept thinking about Belinda and her boyfriend. Belinda's boyfriend was in the Australian Army. You can get pretty bored sometimes. You know, all the guys are 18, 19, 20, so they can get a hard on at a drop of a hat. And they have this competition. They tie the boots together and then hang them on the penis and see who can hang the most boots on the penis before it goes down. Well, Belinda's boyfriend was famous for winning that competition. So I was in a torturous state.
I'm in a torturous state.
And I got so drunk, and my mates wouldn't even talk to me. And I'm leaning against the bar. And all I remember is this white gown coming through the door.
George?
Next thing I remember was waking up in the morning. There was a note.
You're fantastic. I've taken the car. I'll see you for lunch. It's fantastic.
And I don't even remember it, but I was okay from then on.
That was fantastic.
I totally fell in love. She was my idea of a perfect woman was her. My life was changing because she was operating on a different level than I was. My family lived day to day. If they had a bad day, they wouldn't have money for the next day. She was high society. Like her mother's father was Governor General of New South Wales, lived in a big castle down in Sydney. And I remember we had a trip planned, it was a black tie, to go to dinner. And then the father said, "You're not invited, George." In other words, I had to stay at the house while Belinda went. And Belinda looked at me and looked at her dad and said, "I'm not going unless George goes." So he left us both there. He saw that I had some control over her. He didn't like me. He, in fact, encouraged her to go to London, to get away from me for 3 months and see what happens. I've got the best job that I can imagine. I've got the girl I wanted in my life. And the most important thing was her. And she took my heart and went to England with it. I thought 3 months, that's a long time. Next day, when she was out in the ocean somewhere,
Yeah, I feel sick. She's gonna...
the salesman were telling me, girls go crazy when they get out in the ocean. All my mates.
She's probably got another fella already.
Oh, come on.
We started writing to each other after she left. I was getting 5 letters a day. Then 4. Then 3. And all of a sudden, no letters. I was going to the post office. Hey, you must be mixed up. I haven't got any letters for you. I knew that she had someone else, and I wanted to go over there and get her back. I got in a boat to Tilbury, England, and I was 4 levels below water in bunks with 3 other guys from Brisbane. But the darn thing went round Australia first. I went to Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, Singapore, and then over to Delhi, and then over to Port Said, and there's another place further up on the left. It's in a war now, I don't know where it is. And then we hit Italy, Marseille, and Gibraltar, and then finally Tilbury. When I first landed in London, I expected to see Belinda there. Every port I pulled into, I'd write her saying where I am, where I'll be, telling her how in love I was and everything else. But here I am with 2 big suitcases and no Belinda. She wasn't there. I had her address, but there's no one to answer the door. I waited outside where she lived until the pubs closed. I kept going to the pub and coming back. My suitcases were just left there on the doorstep, and she didn't come back.
Belinda!
And I pulled a cab down. I said, I need a room. I need a room somewhere. And the cabbie said, I know exactly where to take you. But I had a g'day, mate, Australian accent. So he took me to Earl's Court, got me a room where you sleep with a doorknob in your mouth and it's so bloody small. I kept thinking about Belinda.
Where is she?
Automatically, my mind's going, she's sleeping somewhere with some guy, blah, blah, blah. Because there's no way of finding anybody in England in those days. In the 60s, you couldn't find anybody. You didn't have cell phones. You didn't have any way of doing it.
Does she look familiar?
I'd come all this way, and she wasn't there. I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I done? About 3 months later, I was in the Earl's Court Visitors Club, and I was alone, feeling sorry for myself. I'm a guy from my hometown, so I just saw Belinda down the road in a pub. I said, what? My heart starts going like this. My heart stopped. There she was, and she's with the whole Oxford cricket team. And her boyfriend is the captain of the Oxford cricket team, I found out.
I want to talk to you outside.
And she says, whatever you got to say to me here.
No, I want to talk to you outside.
You heard what she said.
My fist came up, bang, even before he got the line out. I don't know, it was just instinctive. Ran around the other side of the car. And she jumped out.
Belinda!
And all these cricketers are coming out towards me. I thought, oh, shit. I'm going to get beat up if I hang out here. I was confounded, devastated, lost. I didn't know what to do. And then it was only a few weeks later that I didn't have any money. And so I went down to where the car dealers are, and I said, I need a job. I was almost concluding that this relationship wasn't meant to be. And I was going through the withdrawal of that. And a couple of days later, I got a letter. She wrote, "We can see each other platonically."
Platonically? What the hell does that mean?
I think it means emotionally. Like, spiritually. Like seeing each other eye to eye.
I don't think that's right.
Platonically?
Platonically. Yeah, she underlined it.
That's good.
I said, "Well, better than nothing." She said, "We can see parts of England together."
My lady.
And I went and asked the driver who delivers cars, "Where's the furthest car you got this weekend?" I said, "I'll take it for you. I'll do it for nothing." He said, "Bristol," which is that's not a tourist resort.
Bristol, here we come. Yeah. Can't wait. I hear good things.
She said, "I'll go." Ooh. Platonically.
Platonically. I know what that means. Always did. Didn't have to look it up. So.
This platonic word was starting to bug me.
You look lovely.
Oh, thank you.
We go over there and we're having dinner. I could smell her.
Yeah, falling behind.
Oh, oh, that's fine. Thank you. Oh.
Finish her off.
It was something else. You know, it's just smell and taste and touch has got a lot to do with who you're with and how much you love.
God, if it gets any livelier up here, a funeral's gonna break out. Anyway.
Tonight was, it's really nice.
It was, wasn't it?
Hmm. This is me?
This is me, so... Good night.
Good night.
I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
Okay.
Okay.
What she didn't know is that I had stolen a key to a room from the reception desk. And so I just give her time to get tucked in and be naked, hopefully. And I'll go to her room and surprise her. I'm thinking I can't wait to get back, but I can't wait. Next thing, my stomach starts to rumble. And I got the worst diarrhea I've ever had. Every time I walked to the door, I had to turn around and go back to the bathroom. Every time I walked the door. I just was sick, and then I'd wash myself and start to go back to the door again.
Nope. Nope. You were gonna man up and...
I did this about 6 or 7 times.
Huh? Wait, 6 or 7 times? Didn't you think that maybe you should give up after 1?
Well, no, I was, bathing myself well and hoping I could go out. It'd be embarrassing there if you're in the middle of it and getting brown smoke out of your butt.
Oh, thank you.
Saw her next morning for breakfast, and she said to me,
I'd bet anything you would have tried to get into my room last night. You've changed.
What can I say? I have. Well, this was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks for coming.
I'm very glad that I did.
and we're driving back to London, and we're on the motorway, the M4.
Wow, really coming down.
It was a dark night and raining.
Just pull over up here, just be on the safe side.
And I could just see the lights of London, and I said, I'm going to do it. Down with it. I went down under the freeway. grabbed hold of her, and we made love. Afterwards, I was looking at her, and she was sort of up against the window crying.
Linda.
The next thing, she turns around and comes at me, and I put my hand up. I thought she was going to hit me because she was crying.
I love you. I still love you.
Move in with me.
I can't. My dad'd kill me.
But he's not going to be there. This place isn't big enough.
For you to find my dad to live with you.
I'd put up with him if... Come here. I love you too. Platonically.
Platonically.
I love you so much.
I love you.
All right. I'll see you tonight.
Have a great day, honey.
She moved into my place, and I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. That's why I came to London. It was for her. I'd moved on from a little car dealership to Mercedes-Benz in Park Lane. And there was a guy who was a photographer, Charles Jenkins. He walks in one day, and we're looking at this particular Mercedes. He says, look, I'll tell you what.
I'll buy this off you if you let me take some pictures of you.
And I said, hello, I got a homosexual on my hands. Why would anyone want to take pictures of a man? That's how naive I was. So I sent Belinda along. Then he comes back to me. He took pictures of her because he was polite.
No, you fool. I want to take some pictures of you.
I said, what are you talking about? I didn't know there was such a thing as male models. I just thought people took pictures of people smoking or on horses or whatever, and that's how it happened. He said, you're in.
You know, they're looking for men like you.
You know, rugged guys.
Rugged guys are in now.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, George, you look fabulous. Let's have another one. Oh, you were born to do this.
What do you call them? Head faces?
These are your headshots, darling.
Headshots?
Headshots of your face.
He said, there's a lot of money in it. Take these pictures down to Scotty's modeling agency on Bond Street. I thought, you know, it's a waste of time, but what the hell? So I waited there half my lunch hour, and they didn't come out to see me. They knew I was there, but they didn't come out. So I just threw them up in the air and walked out. The next thing, they called me. Said, you've got to get up to the Times building straight away. Bert Stern, one of the biggest photographers in the world, wants to use you. He had lost the male model he was working with because the babies he was working with were above his head, and he was holding them, and they were peeing on him. And after the third one, he said, to hell with this, and walked out. Next thing I know, I've got the job.
Smile, smile, les enfants, smile.
It's a cute little kid, eh?
Yeah, I thought, well, it's a job, what the hell?
You're doing very well, George, very well.
Oh, you're about to burst, aren't you? Oh, yeah.
And they peed at me, too, but I just duck it and dive it. And, you know, I didn't get upset. I was just dodging baby piss.
What have you been feeding this baby?
Well, guess what happened? I came out 3 months later, and everybody wants me.
Wait, I want to pause there. How much of this story that you've told me is true?
Which one?
The whole story.
Hey, how could I remember it if it wasn't true?
There'll be a change in the weather and a change in the sea.
I became one of Europe's top models, male models, overnight. So I'm booked up 7 days a week. I had to give up my job.
I'll just grab the old putting wedge. I'm sophisticated.
I didn't know anything about modeling. I didn't even know where the camera was.
I mean, I don't even know what the hell I'm advertising here, the whiskey or the chair?
And then this job came along. It's called Big Fry, the biggest commercial project in London at the time. Big Fry comes into town, boom, boom, with a big box of chocolates.
Big fries are coming by. Yeah, yeah.
Big Fry. It was fun. I hired little people around me, so most people thought I was 7 foot tall, or 8 foot tall, so they didn't really recognize me. I mean, I used to see things like, "I like to meet Big Fry," written on toilet walls. My life was on the up and up. I just settled with my girlfriend, and we're all happy and everything. Then I was asked to go on a job down to Spain with 3 beautiful girls.
Now it's a party. All right.
So the first night I'm there, there's this girl. She's from Germany. Her name was Gundel. She was one of Germany's top models, and she was a stunner.
Is something the matter?
No, not at all. In fact, everything's perfect.
It is, isn't it?
I'm thinking, oh, God, I'm in trouble.
Eyes up here, George. Please, stay focused.
George, could you pass me a banana? Not that one. It's a bigger one.
We worked together for 2 weeks, and I behaved myself. Then I'm at the airport to go to London. And she came up to me, and she said, "I'm going to see my mother in Menorca. Would you like to come?" I was shocked. I said, I put my bag's going to London. And she said,
Oh, too bad.
I never saw that bag again. I just called Belinda and said I'll be being extended a week. And she said, "Okay, I'll see you in a week." And when I got back, she knew that I'd been with someone else. She was smart. I cried over her before when I couldn't find her. Then when I found her, just living out your fantasy with her, doing what you thought you might have done. Then I think the picture changed in my mind, in the subconscious mind. I was being untrue to the girl I was living with, loving. It's sad. So that was the end of Belinda. So Belinda moved out, lived with a father who was in London at the time. And it's a strange thing. You'd think that I'd be brokenhearted for years. But it was a different era. It was make love, not war. And I was a young, 24-year-old, crazy Australian. And girls were, not all girls, but some were attracted to it. And it was the craziest sexual time that I'd ever had. The women in the 60s were just as sexual orientated as the men. And they were breaking out.
Hey, Ken, male model / actor. Good to meet you.
I was modeling in Germany, and I met a guy called Ken Garrity, who was a fellow Australian model.
Wow.
We got to know each other fairly well through mainly women.
So, what are you doing after work? Yeah, well, Ken and I were just thinking about having a little get-together at our place. Yeah, a little truth and dare. Here's how it works. We truthfully tell you that we want to make love with you, and then we dare you to do it.
I'd pull the women off the street, and I'd take them into Ken's place, and next thing you know, we got a threesome going. We did this dozens of times, and it was sometimes 2 or 3 times a day.
No, you're not quite getting it. Say it with me. G'day.
Good day.
Yeah, no, you've got a very talented tongue, I can tell.
There was this one day I picked up a girl on King's Road. I said to her, come up, I gotta meet a friend of mine, have a cup of tea.
Sure.
All right.
And we're sitting up there having a cup of tea.
Really lovely.
And then she said, well, I've got to go now.
No, you shouldn't go anywhere.
Hi.
And Ken said, I put acid in your tea. And I put it in yours too, George.
What's that?
And I didn't know what acid was, because LSD. Haven't you heard of it? He's not the sort of guy you could trust.
It makes walls melt, your brain feel like it's on fire.
What are you three talking about?
I weigh 1,000 pounds. I weigh 1,000 pounds and my legs are bicycles.
Next thing I saw my breath going across the room, and the curtains moving.
My arms are also bicycles.
You know, I'm thinking, oh my God, Ken, what have you done?
It's weird, I can taste colors.
Well, I might hit the hay. What do you say, Unicorn?
And I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden I'm looking in this guy's ear. And I say, whose ear is that? Then I went back a little bit, still couldn't figure it out. Went right up to the ceiling. I looked over, I saw her. I said, that's the girl I'm with. Oh, shit, that's me. I was looking in my own ear hole. I didn't even know. Shoom, back in the body. Now it's daylight the next morning. And she said, can you get me out of here? I thought I'd only been there an hour. So I take her downstairs, and there's a line of people on the bus stop going to work on the King's Road. And they're all staring at us. And I'm, what are you staring at? I looked down, I had no clothes on. I had my clothes underneath my arm, and so did she. We thought we'd put them on. That's how out of it we were.
Whoops.
It was a crazy time in my life. It was about to get even crazier. So I was hanging out with Ken, and he said to me,
Hey, mate.
gotta help me out tomorrow. I said, what? He said, my girlfriend's coming back into town. And he had double booked himself.
Got a meeting with an agent that I've been wanting to meet for so long.
Maggie Abbott, who's an agent.
Film agent.
Ken was just doing modeling to get some money. He really wanted to be an actor.
You gotta help me out. Can't stand her up. She's gonna take you to a screening.
What's that?
I had no idea. Well, they show movies that haven't come out yet.
Can you do it for me?
Okay, I'll do it.
Ah, that's great.
That's great.
No worries.
Ah, great.
Yeah, it's fine.
Great. Whew. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no worries. You all right, love?
That's how casual it was. I went the next day, and there was Maggie Abbott.
I could do, eh?
So, you're a friend of Ken's?
Yeah. Yeah, we mucked about a bit. Are you close with Ken?
We see each other once in a while.
Yeah, same. We have a mutual friends. Friends who connect us. Sort of, yeah.
Can't remember the movie we saw, but I saw the Rolling Stones.
No Rolling Stones?
Another Rolling Stones.
And I saw the Beatles there.
Paul.
You know Paul McCartney?
Of course. Of course.
They all show up at these screenings. And I was very impressed.
I'm very impressed.
I was now sitting in the middle of all these important people. And agents and people, I was told later, were asking who I was. I went back to Paris. I was living in Paris. And I was in a girl's house who I just met.
Bonjour.
And she says, it's Poitou. It's passing me the phone for me. I said, can't be. How do I? Nobody knows I'm with you. And it's Maggie Abbott.
George, it's Maggie Abbott.
Maggie had rang my house. My roommate had said I went to La Capole restaurant. Rang the maitre d'. The maitre d' said I left with this girl. And she called me. Hey, wouldn't you think I would think that's important?
What do you want me for?
There's a film I think that you're right for.
What's the name of it?
Well, I'm not going to tell you on the phone. Get straight back to London, George.
And I hung up, and I went off to make love with this girl and forgot about it. About 3 or 4 weeks later, I was back in London with Ken, and he asked me, what did Maggie want you for? I don't know. She wouldn't tell me.
God, she was just calling everywhere looking for you. What did you call her?
I don't know. Mate, I'm not an actor. She wanted me to act in a movie or something.
Come on. Let's go find her.
Ken, we're right in the middle of a...
So we went up to her office, and she told Ken to wait outside while she talks to me.
All right. You got me here. Now, what do you want with me?
And she said, I think you're right for James Bond. I said, what?
What?
What makes you say that? She said, you're just very sure of yourself.
Very arrogant. They're looking for this.
Arrogant?
And I didn't know that arrogance was a bad word. I said, thank you.
You've got to get in to see Dyson Lovell, the casting director. You go down there and let him see you.
James Bond. Bond.
And she said, go down there and let him see you.
Yeah, all right.
But she didn't tell me I had to sneak in. I went there and just walked in. Get in, walk in.
G'day, love. I'm here to see Dyson Lovell.
Name?
Lazenby. George Lazenby.
I'm sorry, no. You're not on the list.
You sure you want to double check? Maggie Abbott told me to come by.
This job is for union actors only. Are you in the union?
Yeah. Oh, no, of course. Yeah, well, absolutely. Lifelong member. You can call him if you want. Ask.
All right.
Well, don't call him now. I mean, it's probably a bit early. Don't want to wake him up.
Which union are you in?
The big, main one, the big one.
BAFTA.
Yep, that's the one.
Wrong. Shit. I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave. Daniel? Drop love. Daniel. Lovely to see you.
And the woman kicks me out, says, no, you're not on the list. So I called up Maggie.
Maggie.
Said they wouldn't let me in.
They wouldn't even see me.
And she said, you gotta get in there.
Just get
past that girl.
Channel your inner James Bond. Do whatever it takes to get in that room.
Fortunately, I saw all these guys there waiting who were looking like Sean Connery, and I wasn't. So I went out, and I knew when I was a car salesman that Sean Connery got his hair cut down the road. After that, I went to East Taylor. I went in there, and I said,
I want a suit like Sean Connery. Can you do it for me today?
They were,
6 months, my friend.
oh, jeez.
What about that one?
That's a Connery's.
The suit he didn't pick up.
Hasn't picked it up in months. Off about the world doing some photo shoot or something.
Is that right? I thought, Jesus, if they're looking for James Bond, they want me to look like that.
You know, on second thoughts, I'll just get that hat.
That one?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
Very well, sir.
So here I've got Connery's suit. I already had a Rolex. I got my hair cut where he got his hair cut. I go back. I wait outside the door, and the girl at the desk who wouldn't let me in, she bends down to get something. And I just run right past her up the stairs, and she's going, "Hey, you, stop! Oh!"
No, Harry, look, we're talking about replacing Sean Connery. It's not an easy thing to do.
Dyson Lovell, the casting director, was on the phone talking to Harry Saltzman.
Listen, we are gonna find this guy. No, Roger Moore was totally wrong for it. Hold on. Who are you?
And I was standing there with my hand like this with a Rolex. I said,
I heard you're looking for James Bond.
I didn't have any acting experience. But to me, you know, as a car salesman, you don't know what this car's about, but you tell everybody it's good, so you can sell the bloody thing. He said, Harry?
There's a guy out here I think you should see.
And Harry said, bring him over.
Right.
Let's go.
And as we were walking across the road, he was saying, tell me your life story. I said, what?
Tell me what you've done. How many movies have you done? Where have you worked?
Oh, geez. China, Hungary, Russia, Ukraine.
All countries I could think of that they wouldn't be able to check on.
Well, I think it's pretty simple. He's a distributor. He's supposed to distribute movies.
We get up there, and Harry's got an intimidating office.
It's simple.
And Harry was sitting there with his feet up on the desk.
Yeah.
And he points for me to sit right at the bottom of his feet. I don't like sitting in front of people's feet.
That's his job.
Sit.
So I went over and looked out the window.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You know what? I gotta go. Who are you?
I said, George Lazenby. He said, tell me your life story. I thought, oh my God, I've just told him a bunch of lies. If I screw up, I was shitting myself underneath all this. I thought, I'm getting in over my head. I said, I just told him, let him tell you.
Oh, he's been working.
My attitude got to him. Every other actor he'd had in there did exactly what he asked.
And Hungary? Yes.
He said to Dyson Lovell, he said, where's the director?
Where's Peter Hunt?
He's in Switzerland doing location hunting.
When will he be back?
4 o'clock on Fridays.
Harry said,
Be here 4 o'clock on Friday.
I said,
Can't be here at 4 o'clock.
Why can't you be here?
I thought, I got to get out of here. These guys are going to find out I'm a phony. I said, I'm doing a film in Paris, which was bullshit.
How much are they paying you?
I said,
£500 a day.
Which was about 50 weeks' wages.
Yep.
All right, go down and see Stanley Zappel, and he'll give you 500 pounds. Be here 4 o'clock on Friday.
Stanley Zappel.
What are you so confused about? Get the fuck out of here.
I couldn't say anything to that. So then I go out and I ring Maggie.
So, how did you do?
Well, they gave me £500 to come back tomorrow.
Oh, George, be serious. How did you do?
Maggie, I got the check in my hand, £500.
He said, what did you do?
What did you do? Nobody gives anybody £500 to come back for a callback.
Well, I can show you if you'd like. What are you doing tonight?
Bye, George.
I get to see Peter Hunt on Friday. I go into the office.
So, they flew me all the way back for my location scouts in Switzerland just to meet you.
And he is fuming. He was pissed off when I walked in. Because of me, he had to come back. Looking at me like,
So tell me, what have you done?
I don't know what made me do this. But I just came out with, I said,
Peter.
I've never acted in front of a camera in my life.
Do you mean to tell me you've never acted a day in your life?
And he looked at me for a few seconds. And he was holding his stomach, walking around the room, belly laughing.
Do you realize you fooled two of the most ruthless men that I know?
Stick to your story and I'll make you the next James Bond.
on Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's kind of a long title.
Peter was on my side. He wanted me to be the next James Bond, but he took me over to meet Broccoli and Saltzman, and they had already investigated my background.
Big fries are coming by. Yeah, yeah. Big fry. Here comes Big Fry.
We go into the office, and Harry said, "Get him out of here. He's a clothes peg.
We'll be the laughing stock in the industry."
Because in those days, no one used a male model as an actor. Peter said, "I want to test him."
Whether you like it or not. You're wrong here. You're acting like a buffoon. Stop it.
It's my money.
Listen, he's going to be Bond whether he likes it, whether you like
Peter
it.
says, "I'll test him at your place, Harry. No one will
We
know."
don't want to have this discussion again. We're testing him. Done. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Screen test, Lazenby, take one.
The screen test is where they put you on camera to see what you look like. They want to see how you move, how you talk, and there were 300 tested on film. And I was doing one for stunts. He said, "Do you ride horses?" I said, "Yes," since I was this high. So they brought one over and it's got no saddle on it. I just grabbed it by the mane, jumped on it, and it took off. And I rode it till it ran out of steam. He said, "You can ride a horse, that's for sure." Then they took me to the swimming pool. I thought I'd impress them by swimming underneath the water. So I dived in and come up the other end. "No, on top of the water. I want to see you swim." I had to first of all get past Harry and Cubby, because when I was a male model, they wanted to chop me out. I was inside, not showing it, that I'm way over my head here. I'm just gonna make a fool of myself. And one night, this guy came to my door.
Can I help you?
He had this beautiful girl with him. Said she wants to make love with you. I said, "What?" She stripped the gear up.
Please come in.
Interesting design in here.
I got on it, and he was sitting in a chair right next to me, and I'm saying, "Aren't you gonna join in?" And I thought he'd be going second or something. He said, "Oh, no, it's right." And I thought, he's a bloody pervert.
It's just hard to concentrate.
Next thing I know, she gets dressed and leaves.
Thank you.
He said, "You're a male model." In the studio, they're afraid you're gay.
But you're not.
I had no idea at the time it was a test. I just thought I got lucky. I went through a series of tests that went on for 4 months.
Shake it, not stir.
After all of that, United Artists wanted to see me do a fight scene. And Peter Hunt kept saying, "He's Australian. All Australians can fight." The stuntmen give me 5 minutes training. Missed the first couple of guys, and one of the stunt guys came up, and I hit him right in the chin. He went down. He's wriggling on the ground like this. I'm thinking, "Oh my God, what have I done?" Harry steps over and grabs my arm, takes me up against the wall.
We're going with you.
I said, "It's about time."
It's about time.
What?
I said, "Thank you very much." Harry said, "You should call your mother."
Call your mother.
So I call up Mum. She said, "Oh, hello, son." I said, "Mum, I just got the James Bond job." "Oh, did you? You know your license has run out." If someone told me back when I was in my teens even, that I would one day become James Bond, I would think he's out of his mind. I felt that every man wanted to be like him. I did. Here's a guy who had everything that every man wanted. He used to win at gambling. He always got the girl. And he could shoot people who got in his way. I mean, what more can a man want?
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming. So I had the role, providing I didn't mention it to anybody. They had the cover of Life magazine, front page picture of me as the new James Bond before anybody else. And Harry said, "Get lost, go to my travel agency, go anywhere, call me when you get there." He didn't want any other press people get hold of me. So I went off around the south of France. And guess who I called?
Hello?
Belinda.
George?
My heart was just pounding. I told her that I got the role as James Bond.
That's incredible.
I want you here with me to celebrate, just like old times.
My dad picked the phone up.
Oh, you got lucky, George, I hear.
I said, yeah, I did. And he didn't like me, of course, class-wise. He was on the top of the heap, and I was somewhere around the bottom. I felt, now, Jack, I'm on your level, you know? He said,
What are you going to do with my daughter down in the south of France?
I said, nothing I haven't done before.
Did he just say nothing I haven't done before?
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And she got in a plane. She was heading down to the south of France from London. But in those 2 hours, Harry calls me up.
Hello?
He said, hey, get your ass back to London. I said, what for? He said, we're having a press conference tomorrow. Plunk.
What's the matter?
And I said, I gotta go back to London straight away.
What?
Yeah, things are so crazy right now. It's good, really good. But I just got a phone call, and they need me back there now. I have to go.
When are you coming back?
Oh, God, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, Max.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay. All right.
So I sent her to the hotel, and I said, I'll come back as soon as I can. It'll probably be tomorrow, or day after tomorrow. Never happened. I thought that I'd be back in a couple of days. I had no idea it would be many years before I saw her again. She, meanwhile, got married and had kids, and we ran into each other, I think it was about 20 years later. Life would have been different if I'd have come back. She was a beauty, good woman. I just, you know, it's one of those things when timing doesn't work out the way you want it to, and it's meant to be.
Tell me, what were you doing before this?
I was a model. Then, if you want to go right back, I was a salesman and a mechanic before that.
What really drew you into applying for this job?
Well, it was on the recommendation of a friend called Maggie Abbott.
Peter Hunt, you have there next to you a man who is not an actor and who is going to be perhaps the most famous actor in the years to come.
No, you're making a mistake. Nobody's going to make him a famous actor. We're going to make him a film star.
There were a lot of press there from all different countries.
Sure.
And I was sipping on a white wine or something and smoking a cigarette, just talking to him. I didn't know what I was doing.
What worries you most about taking on a multi-million-dollar movie like this?
Being able to do it well. That's what I'm hoping to be able to do.
And I was thinking, what the fuck have I got myself into? So we went off to Switzerland, and now it's time to shoot the movie. I'd never been on a film set. You got hundreds of crew, you got stunt crew, you got helicopters, and it's really a big, big thing. And you're the central figure. Everyone was experienced in the major roles. Diana Rigg and Telly Savalas. They've been working as actors for decades.
George, obviously there's going to be some comparison between yourself and Sean Connery. How do you think this comparison will affect your image?
Sean Connery created James Bond. How can I be better than Sean Connery playing James Bond?
Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
I'm not an actor. I never had any thoughts that I might be good as him because he created the character, from his personality. I realized very early that people wanted to see Sean Connery's version. I had a "g'day, mate" Australian accent that they couldn't use for James Bond. And they said he's got to change his walk too, because when they put me on CinemaScope, I'd walk like this. And so I'd go right across the screen. So they said, got to change his walk and you got to change his accent. So it wasn't, "My name's Bond, James Bond, 007.
You give us a martini. Shake it, stir it. I don't care, I'll drink anything.
My voice coach, she would lay me down on the floor.
My name's Bond.
Put a match in my mouth.
James Bond.
Then draw that out.
James Bond.
She'd stop the muscles moving that creates the Australian accent. You can talk like an Englishman, man.
My, oh my, what a lovely feeling you have.
I had to be this English toffee.
My, what a lovely ceiling you have.
Moneypenny. Shut up. You shut your mouth, Miss Moneypenny.
My name's Bond.
James Bond.
And then, as I was leaving, my voice coach said,
You know, I feel sorry for you.
and I thought,
Sorry for me? Why?
I said, "You're taking on a hell of a role."
Your life is going to change.
Next day, we're doing the titles. They said, do it the way Connery does it. Just turn and shoot.
Ready?
I don't know why I did it.
Action.
On the first take, for some reason or other, I went to one knee.
What was that?
Must turn and shoot.
I said the way Connery does it. What's this kneeling down business?
What's the point of doing it like Connery? You've got Lazen.
Do it like George doing Connery. Standing. Turning, standing, shooting. No kneeling down.
So just to turn and shoot then?
Turn and shoot.
Better.
Like Connery. Way down, silly. He's being a silly boy.
There we go.
Oh, now you're having a little laugh,
No, I thought I saw someone behind me.
Oh, yes, of course you did. Do you want to play games? Should we all play games with him? Isn't this fun? Back to one, let's go. Behave yourself now. It's your time, too.
But out of the first two, which one did you prefer?
Quit it. I've had enough of this bullshit.
I think I'm getting it.
Stop mucking about and do it right. My God, I've had it. I'm taking 5. Everyone take 5. That's it. Come on.
It was a warning shot. I thought that's how the blood trickles down in front of camera.
In my film, they used the one that they told me not to do. I'm so creative.
Good morning. My name's Bond. James Bond.
And after a while, I started having fun with it. I really didn't know whether I was good or not. I was just doing the best I could.
You're very sure of yourself, aren't you? Suppose I were to kill you for a thrill.
I can think of something more sociable to do.
I was working with good people. Telly Savalas, Diana Rigg, and Angela Schuyler. She was quite funny. We played a trick on Angela. Angela had to put her hand up inside the kilt and put a room number on the side of my leg. And so just before that, the props guys heated up a big German sausage and taped it to the inside of my leg when I had a kilt on.
Of course, if you think so, Fräulein.
And she puts a hand up there and completes the scene without a reaction. And all the crew guys are going. And then she whispers in my ear, "You've got no pants on."
Is anything the matter? Just a slight stiffness coming on.
Let's do take 2.
So there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Stunt fighting, hanging off ropes. I can remember the knife thrower couldn't hit the target. I'd been throwing knives since a little kid. So I took over the knife throwing. One of the stuntmen said, George shouldn't be jumping out of helicopters and hanging off cables. What if he dies? He said, no one's seen him yet. We can get a new one and do it all over again. After a while, I felt really comfortable on the set. And if I was in fear, I wouldn't show it.
I think he's a little bit of every man, or at least every man thinks he has some of James Bond in him.
Have you seen our new James Bond? He's tall, dark, and handsome.
I was starting to feel, important in my own self.
I think he's gorgeous. Charming.
Because I'm no longer a male model, I'm now a superstar.
I think he's very sexy and very confident, and natural for James Bond.
Be a lady tonight.
There were a lot of women on the film.
Luck be a lady tonight.
And thank God for that, because I was there 9 months. And you get to know them.
How do you do? Thank you.
Like, which one do you fancy first? I remember one morning, I opened the door. The girls got one of the stunt dolls. It had a note on it.
Here's one you haven't had, George.
That's true. You were having fun.
They were having fun with me.
I don't even know your name.
I tell you all about myself later.
Garçon, cafe and another coffee. Attaboy.
On my day off, I was in a cafe, and all of a sudden, the front of the shop was completely smothered with people telling other people that that's James Bond in there. That's the new one. And that kind of gave me a little bigger head. I can remember being in the production office one day in the film.
I'm here to get my per diem.
To get my per diem. It was $100 a week.
How come I'm only making $100 a week? How much the other fella get?
It says $1,000 a week. And I looked at Harry with a look like I'm doing the same thing.
Fine. Give him $1,000 a week.
That was my confidence.
Good on you, Harry.
Where other people were going around kissing ass, I'd be telling them what I want.
I said, Peter, that's the last time I do my own bloody stunts, you bastard.
They allowed me to have private planes and go into town. So I'd take one of the girls with me.
Sorry. Oh, I have a feeling there's a little bit of turbulence here. It's okay, I've got you.
Feel better?
I'd find somewhere to go every night.
And I said, Telly, you get a haircut. That's a true story.
I was drinking at least a bottle of vodka a day.
Oh, I was about to say. More.
And smoking, as many weeds as I could. I didn't go to bed till 3 or 4 in the morning every night. It's a fascinating experience, fame. Changed my life in lots of ways. People would offer me money to go to a party, to show up at their party. And it's not me, I knew that. It was James Bond. James Bond's coming to my party. That's not George Lazenby.
Were you aware of that at the time?
Not totally. You think you're somebody, until the rug gets pulled out from under you.
The new Bond. If you think you know your Bond, think again. This one's different.
It's true!
Lazenby. George Lazenby. The different Bond.
So after we wrapped the movie, the film was coming out, and I hadn't seen it. But I must have done a pretty good job because they wanted me to sign for 6 more Bond films.
The film is a fantastic box office success. And in America, Mr. Lazenby himself has been voted the most promising newcomer of the year.
I went the whole film without signing the contract. And the United Artists were getting on their case. How could you let that guy finish the movie without signing the contract? So they had to coax me along.
Sign the fucking contract.
It was called a slave contract, where they tell you how to dress, and what you can do and what you can't do, what kind of films you can be in.
It's simple. Sign it, become rich.
What have we here?
And that's when Harry offered me $1 million under the table
Yeah.
to sign the effing contract. Ronan O'Reilly, who was my manager at the time, said, "Don't worry about that. There's a guy called Clint Eastwood. He's getting 500 grand. You'll be able to make 2 movies in 6 weeks. You'll get $1 million."
Go ahead.
I'll have to think about it.
You're an idiot. You really are an idiot. What's there to think about?
And he got up and stomped off because if I won't change my mind for $1 million, what can they do?
He's a man who appears to know his own mind and has maintained a stubborn sense of individuality. He grew a beard, for instance, and refused to shave it off for the film premiere.
I naturally grew a beard because, first of all, it would stop me being recognized. And I can remember getting a call saying,
Don't come to the premiere of the movie if you're gonna have a beard. You ruined everything with your beard. Don't you get it? Bond doesn't have a beard. Hippie piece of shit.
but I did show up with a beard. It was, royal premiere. I was recognized and photographed. And I was standing in line meeting the royals. The producers didn't want me to go there, but I had these guys buy the short and curlies because they'd finished the movie and I hadn't signed the contract.
When the film was finished, you went on a publicity tour of the United States, which you paid for yourself. Why?
On principle, I was promised a tour of the United States to publicize the film. I was looking forward to it. And because of my beard and long hair, I wasn't allowed to go. I was allowed to go on the condition that I looked like James Bond.
The new James Bond. Will you welcome George Lazenby?
Most people wanted to meet the new James Bond. People like that guy.
And I said, well, anyone can understand that James Bond isn't a real person. And they're not going to mind the fact that I haven't had a shave for a month.
Welcome, and George, very good to have you with us. One doesn't think of James Bond with a beard. Do you wear a beard in the film?
No, Dave. It's, as a matter of fact, I'm out of the film now, and I'm George Lazenby again, you see.
They wanted me to stay in the image of Bond at all times.
Do you carry on the James Bond thing off stage, off camera?
No, like I said before, James Bond was me being an actor, as an actor. And I don't think anyone can carry on that way.
It's a tough umbrella to walk under, that James Bond thing.
It's great entertainment, James Bond, but I don't think it happens to us in our real life.
You've got to be real with yourself, and it's not easy with all the influences you have coming at you.
My next guest is someone who very soon is going to be a household name. He has taken over the role of James Bond from Sean Connery. So let's please welcome George Lazenby.
After I did the David Frost show, I went on Johnny Carson the next day, and it's hard to imagine someone doing this, what I did, who's sane. And when he asked me,
So what was it like to be James Bond?
I said,
Well,
It was fun, but I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh, that's good. You should be over here in my seat. Is that funny?
He was laughing. The audience was laughing.
That's a good line. You're joking, right? You're not serious.
Yes, quite serious.
I turned it all down. The 7-picture deal, $1 million bonus, and I said no.
That's a lot of money you're passing up. Have you ever thought about maybe, you know, just changing your mind and doing another picture or two?
Well, I think I'll be okay. You're in the market for a car?
Just I have to wish you the best of luck. You're a very confident young man, charming young man, and, ladies and gentlemen, George Lazenby.
I really didn't know how to explain it. Why I did it, what I was thinking or feeling. I still don't know why. I just didn't feel in my heart it was the right thing. It's an instinctive thing, and it's a voice inside you. And you don't think of the consequences. I was totally blacklisted after Bond. I couldn't get on any known film set. 5 years down the road after Bond, hardly anybody took much notice of me.
Poor old George, I don't know what he's doing now, but he's definitely the architect of his own demise as a film star.
My name became a punchline.
George Lazenby, legendary actor because he played James Bond once.
Pope Benedict figured he'd be a mere palate cleanser pope, the George Lazenby, if you will, to John Paul II's Sean Connery.
It's a famously bad decision.
Yes.
That's fame for you. I can remember when it fell off. I used to get a table at the Dorchester Hotel sometimes for dinner. And I'd ring up and they'd give me the best table right there. And rang up one day and they said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Lazenby, you haven't got any table." This is after I got some bad press and whatnot. "Haven't got any table." "Oh, okay." So I'd ring back and say, "Oh, it's Cary Grant here. Do you have a table for 4? "Oh, yes, Mr. Grant." And I'd show up and I'd say, "Cary Grant's coming." And then I'd call him and say, "Oh, he just called me, he's not coming now." Just to stick it back up him, you know. Judy, this is Cary Grant here."
Well, looking back on it now, it's taken up a year of your life. You've taken a few kicks from some of the critics and some of the press. Has it been worth it?
I think so. I hope so, anyway.
I've always done what I thought was the right thing. It's not always the right thing, but I thought it was at the time. You know, when I look back on it, I should have done too, just to prove to people I wasn't fired. But it was a mistake, but in a way, this is who I am. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to some people to say, he's mad, he's crazy. But I lived my life the way I wanted to. I regret breaking up with Belinda from time to time. She taught me what love was about. She taught me how to love. You can't get hung up on something like that, or your life's over.
Does it concern you at all that you may well have turned your back on a large fortune?
Oh, it does in a way. I mean, everyone would like to be secure, money-wise. But I've never been that secure with money, and I think I can make a living at a few other things.
Which would you prefer, to be a stereotyped James Bond or a car salesman like you used to be?
Car salesman like I used to be.
Becoming Bond was never my end goal.
While he admits there are days he regrets his decision, Lazenby says he's put James Bond behind him.
I got married. I had a couple of kids. I went into real estate. I was very successful there. I ended up racing motocross. I always wanted to race motorcycles. It's very hard for people to understand, but living life on your own terms, in your own way, you feel like it's much fuller. The best thing you can do is know yourself and feel yourself and be yourself. Yeah, I may not be great, but I'm an original.
Perhaps
the most controversial choice to play James Bond was my next guest. He took over for the first time from Sean Connery. If that wasn't tough enough, he wasn't an actor, but nonetheless, the film he made on Her Majesty's Secret Service is celebrated by some as one of the best Bond films. Welcome, please, George Lazenby.
I'm proud of my life. When I look back, I was very fortunate to have half a kidney and expect to live till 12. Here I am, 76, and I've done everything and more than I ever expected to. I was happy to be a motor mechanic, happy to be a car salesman, happy to be a model, happy to be James Bond, happy to marry the person I married, happy to have kids. And they've all been wonderful. I can't think of anything I'd change. You know, I'd probably have a few more pretty women around, but what the hell?
What do you hope people remember about your life?
Oh, that's a good one.
So tell me, what have you done?
I'd like them to know that you can defy what is expected of you and write your own story.
Mm-hmm.